What's up, everybody? Albie Sarur here, and today I want to talk to you about babies, brains, and 2007. Now, I know you're thinking, what the hell is this guy talking about right now? But what we're going to get to here in a minute is a research study that I wanted to bring up that I think is going to be a huge critical point for you on the path to success with our company. And what it was in 2007, researchers at Oxford University started peering into the brains of newborn babies. And what they found was pretty surprising. They found that newborn babies, compared to normal adult brains, the babies actually have 41% more neurons than the average adult. So at first glance, that discovery really didn't make that much sense. They said, if babies have more neurons, then why are adults smarter and more skilled? Well, it's something called synaptic pruning. So what synaptic pruning is it's a phenomenon that happens as we age. And basically the idea of it is that the brain prunes away connections between neurons that don't get used and builds up connections that get used more frequently. For example, if you practice playing the piano for 10 years, then your brain will strengthen the connections between those musical neurons. The more you play, the stronger the connections become. Not only that, the connections become faster and more efficient every single time you practice. And as your brain builds stronger and faster connections between neurons, you can express your skills with more ease and expertise. It is a biological change that leads to skill development. Meanwhile, somebody else who has never played the piano is not strengthening these connections in their brain. As a result, the brain prunes away those unused connections and allocates energy towards building them for other life skills. This explains the difference between newborn brains and adult brains. Babies are born with brains that are like a blank canvas. Everything's a possibility, but they don't have strong connections anyway. The adults, however, have pruned away a good deal of those neurons, but they have strong connections that support certain skills. So now for the fun part, let's talk about how synaptic pruning plays an important role in building new habits and your success here. So first off, the more you do something, the easier and more natural it's going to fire off. When you start learning this presentation, guys, it's not going to flow off your tongue. You're going to want to change the words on the page. You're going to want to do it your way. But what you're going to realize over time, especially when you're in leadership, is you can't duplicate yourself, but you can teach a system. And when you're in leadership developing other people, you're going to be so thankful that you learned a presentation that can be easily replicated. All right, but it's about you doing the same thing over and over and over again. What I can tell you is if you look at a pro athlete, I'm sure most professional athletes don't love working every Thanksgiving and Christmas, traveling 180 days a year. But what they do love is the outcome of what that career is when they're actually on the court playing ball, the success that comes with it, the fame that comes with it. There's always going to be things that we don't love. You're not always going to love practice, but the more you sweat in practice, the less you're going to bleed in the game. And I'll tell you firsthand, I can run this meeting right now talking to you guys while tying my shoes, and I wouldn't have to think about it. Why? I've tied shoes so many times over the years, the words would just flow anyways. It doesn't take any thought to have that success, to get that task accomplished. But if I try to tie a boat knot and run this in front of this camera at the same time, it would be absolutely impossible. It would take so much thought for me to figure out how to do loop-de-loops in a boat knot when I'm trying to talk to you guys. So just understand that the more you do something, it's just going to start rolling off the tongue naturally. Next thing you know, you're going to be presenting and somebody else's words are going to flow out of your mouth and you're going to walk out with a check and be beyond excited that all that effort and studying and practice and that sweat equity started to pay off. Secondly, what you got to realize is that the things that you do and the choices you make are going to become habits for all different parts of your life, not just in business. So for example, if you're somebody that's always been negative, you're a negative thinker, you're always worrying about the worst case scenario, and you're constantly negative, what's going to happen is you're going to stay looking for the negative in every situation. And the reason is you're conditioned to it. If you've been a procrastinator, that's your baseline habit. You have to kill the old thought process while building your new ones. Be conscious of the behaviors you don't want to be exhibiting. And thirdly, guys, if you're focused on everything, you don't get good at anything. This is a reason why, if you've ever heard of pruning roses, it actually works the same way as that crazy brain analogy I gave you guys earlier. But with the rose bush, they tell you to cut the roses that don't look as lively because that's going to make sure the ones that are lively look even prettier. right? Because it needs to make sure that you're putting all the energy, all the water, the nutrients, all that stuff goes to the right places. You can't fix everything at once. So in business, it's the same thing, guys. You got to focus on a smaller set of targets and improve at that category before moving on towards other skills. So if you're not good at something, it's not because you're not good at it. I don't believe in anybody having weaknesses. You just have undeveloped strengths. The reason why you're not good at it yet is because you just haven't done it enough. That's all it means. Understand, guys, in closing, everything is possible on the scale of repetition, and repetition is the key to success. You just got to stay doing it.